Good morning, it's me, Pearl from Pearl and the Prayers, and this is Tuned In Tarot. And I wasn't planning to do a reading today. I was planning to do the reading tomorrow, but I have been experiencing some just kind of old, and it's probably from retrograde energy. Good morning, how are you? So I've been experiencing just some old, like I'm saying, retrograde energy that is potentially affecting like the feelings I have about my finances, which were much more confident before going into Mercury in retrograde. And so I just wanted to do a financial obstacles removed spread for us so we can kind of maybe get a handle on what exactly is coming up for us and why it's coming up during retrograde and how we can go forward to eliminate these obstacles. I'm just going to use one deck today, and this is just a general reading for everyone's energy. It is not specific to masculine or feminine energy. It is just as a whole inside of ourselves. All right, so I'm going to use my obstacles remove spread that I designed, but I'm going to just make this from the financial aspect. So the block that we're going to be looking at is the one that is causing us to have some issues here in this. So let's just look at the general energy overall surrounding finances. And I just love this so much because it's the goddamn Three of Swords in reverse. And if there's anything that's heartbreaking about my life, it definitely has been my financial decisions that I have made. And the Three of Swords it's a card about being really honest with ourselves, and it's like we have these moments in our lives that cause us to go and look at these wounds, but we really kind of realize they are self-inflicted, and it's just sort of these outside, maybe tower moments that have kind of shown us where our wounds are. And the reversal on the Three of Swords is lovely because it's that we are healing this energy. We're healing from the heartbreak. So we spent a long time in this lack mentality, and there's confusion there. You can see here the clouds here. There's this confusion, this lack of clarity about why exactly we're having financial issues. So there's been this feeling in the past of like not fully understanding, first of all, how to manage finances, why we couldn't seem to manage them. Like, it's like we're capable in all of these ways, but like, what is this process that is eluding us in terms of our finances? And I really do feel it's because we did not, up until recently, truly embrace that money and finances are truly energetic. So the wounds we were receiving before were so confusing to us. We didn't understand, like, why couldn't we get this under control? And the general energy is wanting to heal from this, letting these, old wounds of our past decisions and our past experiences start to fall away. And so it makes perfect sense that I was called to do a reading where we look at how to heal these obstacles, since the general energy is like, please can we heal this financial stuff, because it's like not cute though, okay? Oh, god damn it. Here's the obstacle. The Three of Wands. So our current obstacle right now is this need for us to see the pieces falling into place before we can believe in the magic. And we have this tendency to apply this magic in our lives to many other areas. We're like, oh, this person's having a hard time, I'm gonna energetically heal them. Oh, this is happening, I'm gonna use my psychic telepathic connections to discover what that's about. Oh, this is happening and I believe in this magic. But for some reason, and I'm sure it's because of the cold, hard cash element where we're really looking at pentacles energy, material energy, we feel like that magic that we bring to these other areas in our life is difficult for us to experience in this financial way. Like, we feel the elusiveness of it, and it's mostly because of our past experiences. And look at this 3-3 energy too. It's like having to wait for things to unfold causes us to feel a lot of inadequacy, because there's this sense that like I should have this and I don't, and there's this lack of clarity around it. there's also, I think, with the Three of Wands, that is a card where you're needing to really trust and have faith. And so this obstacle is for that purpose, I'm pretty sure. All right, so let's flip over the cards. All right, we have, where did this block originate? The Hierophant. This block originated with limiting beliefs. Period, point blank. Limiting beliefs about money. First of all, our inability to manage it, our lack of clarity surrounding it, the bad decisions that we have made in the past. And so there's this sense here that the way that things are is the way that things are. It's like, if you're a musician, you're poor. If you are, you know, doing healing work, it's like feast or famine. There's all these kind of different ideas about it. We also might have had a past legal contract. It could be a financial one. It could be a marital contract that resulted in a lot of disillusionment about financial security. There's definitely this, I think also there's like this piousness that I'm sensing from here too, that as healers, I just can't with this fucking trucks. God damn it. Ugh, I apologize for the terribly loud trucks that are gonna be there for likely the next half hour. Deuces. Anyway, this piousness too, this feeling that if you're doing healing work, if you're doing service, if you're performing service, that there is, that it might not be actually a good thing to require remuneration, because we're always talking about how, you know, you're supposed to give with no expectation of return. But that's kind of been distorted into this piousness, which is like, you know, all I need is love and healing and light. And it's like, yes, that needs to be your motivation. But that doesn't mean that you don't get to experience abundance. It's the opposite. But the limiting beliefs we have about piety are haunting us. And it's like, no. When you're doing service, when you're doing the things that you're called to do by your higher calling, whatever higher calling that is, abundance is provided. But remember, it's tough for us to believe in that magic. And look at these two cards this is the minor arcana version, and this is the major arcana version of having faith and trust. So this is just another challenge for us. And if you, as we go through this reading, if you just take money out of it and insert love there, you're looking at a very similar pattern, because those two things are so rooted together. So how is it manifesting currently in the 3D? This is really interesting. This is a Six of Wands. And look at all these pearls. I was noticing this the other day, and thought that was relevant to me. But what's interesting, what I see here is, so when we see the Six of Wands, the thing that I'm most called to think about is the spoils of war and the war part. So how it's manifested is your belief in this piety, in these limiting beliefs, is that you've had to fight for every single thing you've ever had. You've had to fight for it. You've had to fight for your right to have it. You've had to fight for the amount that you need to get. You've had to fight yourself to believe that you deserve it. And so you have this feeling that is not serving you, that when you do receive financial abundance, that it's a spoil of war. And so it's a struggle. There's a Five of Wands that's going on, and there's the struggle and this battle, and then finally you get your reward. But that is what's making you feel so uncomfortable, because the struggle is very heartbreaking and confusing, because it's like, why should it be this difficult to manifest this abundance, which really is promised to me? So what will help remove this block? Okay. The Queen of Pentacles. I mean, of course that would help remove this block, but what does this mean? The Queen of Pentacles is so secure. She has a secure, stable seat upon a throne that is the foundation of the Empress's throne, right? It's when the Empress sits her pink cheeks, whatever color cheeks down on that throne, it was the Queen of Pentacles who built it. And so there is such a strong and stable energy that comes from a Queen of Pentacles. There's also a protective energy, a nurturing energy, a growing energy. And because this is our minor arcana version of the Empress card in some ways, we have that fertility and gestation, the growth, the waiting, right? Understanding that this is one pentacle she's got here. This is probably from the page, right? The page is like, here you go. The Queen of Pentacles has her own pentacle. She doesn't need anyone else's, right? And you can see how she is gazing on this. She's looking at it. She's trying to understand it. She's trying to learn how to make this small offer grow. And we see here this growth here with these roses. And this is also this love energy that when you have lack mentality, which is definitely present here in this card, it's not just going to apply to your finances. So in order to help you remove this, you need to start cultivating this sense, first of all, of time, nurturing, gestation that's present with Empress energy in general. But the Queen of Pentacles is not the Empress, right? She's not got the other three elements in her personality. This is just the material one. So the material aspects of Empress energy are important for you to focus on right now. Counterintuitively, look at her. She's adorned, right? She has jewels. She's got a necklace on. Of course, she's got her golden crown. This piece here has this jewelry that's going up over her ears. She has earrings on. And typically when we're seeing this, when we see Empress energy or Queen of Pentacles energy, we're seeing adornment. We're seeing this presentation of the self as valuable, as deserving. And this is another element that would be really helpful for you. You have to cultivate the feeling of deservingness. And that comes from putting on earrings and or however dressing nicely. No matter what you've got to work with. Last week I had a studio session and I kind of had exhausted some of my cool outfits over the last week or so that I had been doing readings and going, and I have these key outfits that I've purchased over the last year or so, these pieces that are me, a way of me to adorning myself and make myself feel better about how I feel in my body and how I present myself to the world. So I had to go into the studio and I wanted to be comfortable because I knew it was going to be a mixed day and we're just going to be kind of sitting on the couch and listening, and I just wanted to be able to sit crisscross applesauce and be super comfy. And I went through my clothes and I pulled out just a few things, and I pulled this thing together with clothes that I've had for a very long time and jewelry that I've had embarrassingly since high school. These are from high school. I've had a lot of financial heartbreak in my life, so I have not had a lot of opportunities to purchase a lot of things to make me feel very adorned. But I worked with what I had, and I felt like I looked like I was of value, that I looked worthy of the job I was doing, which was going to produce the strap. Later on, my friend saw a picture of me standing by the plate reverb in the backyard. And she was like, I really want to tell you, I loved that outfit. It looked effortless. And I was barefoot in the picture, which is something about me, fuck shoes. And she was like, you looked elegant and classy, but also comfortable and just so authentic to you. And it was just a bunch of random shit I pulled together. So there's this idea here that you don't have to have it to flaunt it. You can create the sensation and the feeling of this Queen of Pentacles energy before it's actually there. And in fact, you must do that. You must take your, shirt that your mom bought you 7 years ago to wear at a job where you needed a white button-down shirt, and then that one just became your beloved one and you wore that forever. You have to be able to take that thing and put it over a pair of pants and put some jewelry on and feel like this bitch without all these, you know, fancy jewels or whatever. That is going to help you so much in removing this block of needing to see your success before you actually start to live it, right? Because remember, that's the block. I got to see it. I got to see it before I can believe it. Well, shit, you're going to be sitting there a long time then, because that's not how it works. You have to create the expansion in the mind that that thing is achievable. And that's the part about needing like expanders, seeing people who have done it before you. That's true. But you are not limited to expanders. You're not limited to having to see it before you believe it. You have to like feel your way with your thoughts to this place where you feel confident and stable in this Queen of Pentacles energy before you see it. Who or what should I release to move on? You're just getting the Tower. It's like, who or what should I release? And the universe is like, I mean, bitch, just release. What do you want me to say? You know what you gotta release. There has been some kind of an event. Now, here we go. This is right below the Hierophant in the spread. And of course, this was, where did this originate? And this is, what do I need to release? And it's like, girl, you just need to release these limiting beliefs that you have had, where this originated. Beliefs about piety, beliefs about it being inappropriate to ask for money for the things that you do. Beliefs about, like, if you have nasty ass beliefs about rich people, you better clean out your closet, because you can't have something that you are judging someone else for having. So you have to release any limiting beliefs that are there. You also have to release whatever happened to cause this heartbreak or lack that's going on to begin with. This could have been a divorce that financially ruined you. That's very possible. I had that experience. Although before my divorce, I was already financially unstable and did not have a lot of security because my family constantly lived in this state. That's another thing too. If you have always lived in a state of tower moment to tower moment to tower moment, to me, this is paycheck to paycheck, right? You have a little bit, you pay for the things you need, and then fuck, your car breaks. What are you gonna do now? Fuck, you got it sick and you have to go to the doctor. What are you gonna do now? Like, these moments that have destabilized you, they happened because of the lack mentality. So you have to release these limiting beliefs in general, and you also have to release the hold over you that these past tower events have had. Like, well, when I did that before, it didn't work. Or when I did this before, it didn't work. What I keep telling myself is, somehow, post-COVID, with no other job except for making music and reading tarot, which I gotta tell you, I don't get paid for. This is free for y'all. Don't know if you noticed, but it's completely free. And I get a reading once in a while, right when I need it. But I have no consistency. I have no real visible stability in my finances. However, I just spent $1,500 on my track, to record my track, which is really, really, really economical because I did all the bulk of the production before I got to go. That was just like my studio, my engineer, and my musicians. Cheap as fuck. Most of the time that shit costs $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 to do one track if you're doing the kind of quality track that I got. Somehow, amidst all of my tower moments, I was able to make that happen for myself. And so this current stickiness I'm feeling about it, it's like, sure, bitch, your finances are a little snug right now because you just somehow manifested the opportunity to pay for something you've always dreamed about making. You invested in yourself and you know it's going to pay off. On top of that, I'm ready for the next one. I'm already going to be making my payment for the next one. So it's going to happen again. And it didn't matter all these things that happened to me in the past. I was still able to do what I wanted to do now. And it's that faith and trust that comes from the Hierophant and the Three of Wands, that you have to take the shadow from those cards and turn them into the light. What can I learn from this current pause? The Wheel of Fortune. Look at this. Now, I'm seeing this totally, this is in reverse. And I'm seeing this, there's two levels here. One, you can learn to stop trying to control your fate and your destiny, because this isn't about it, right? You don't need to see it before it comes in. You got to trust that it's coming. And you trying to do all these machinations to make shit happen, if I just do this, if I do that, if I do this. No. Pay attention to the pings that you get from the universe. I did not do my taxes yet. I know, I'm late, whatever. But I have just been writing that down in my notebook since it was due a long time ago. And I know that when I do that, there will be a benefit there. But for some reason, I have not done it yet. Don't know why. But I'm trusting that it will happen. And I'm trusting that the confusion that I have about how to manage my finances, that there is the reason that I'm feeling this discomfort is because it's time for me to get rid of these clouds around it, to get clarity about how to manage my fortune. Because I don't have this fortune right now, right? I've got peanuts, honestly. Peanuts right now. And I'm meeting my needs to a certain extent, but I'm not managing it at all. I'm just kind of like, oh, there's that, and there's this, and there's the other thing. So what can I learn from this pause? Bitch, how to get clarity about managing the big ass fortune that you want to have. If you want a big fortune and you have a fear of like, I've never even been able to manage the tiny amount of money I have, and you convince yourself to a certain extent, oh, the reason I can't manage my money right now is because it's so little. There's too little of it. If there was more of it, of course it would be easier for me to manage because I'd have more. Which, that's my thinking completely. I'm reading myself to filth right now, bitch, okay? That's how I am about money. I'm like, well, clearly if I had more money, I could manage it. Really, bitch? Well, what if you manage the tiny amount of money that you have now and turned that into something that was bigger because you paid attention to it, actually looked at it, didn't stay in the clouds about it like, oh, it's all going to work out. You need to have a feeling of it's all going to work out in order to have this security. But there's a couple reasons why this bitch knows it's going to work out. She's looking at her money. She's paying attention to it. She's focused on it. She has a sense of what the fuck is going on. I have no idea how many subscriptions I'm paying for right now. You know when you get those ads on Instagram that's like, you have subscriptions you didn't even know about. I'm always like, I should get that app. Because I'm pretty sure I got no clue what's going on. And I don't face it because I don't want to face this painful heartbreak. I don't want to look at these truths about my own choices. I don't want to have to fix it. I don't want to. I want to just sit here in complete and total, oblivion and be like, ignorance is bliss. Meanwhile, I want to be able to buy some things over the next couple of weeks and have to tell myself, well, no, you can't do that because you're ignorant. And that's blissful, isn't it? You need to know what's going on. And this pause is about teaching you to stop avoiding looking at finances and really get clarity about them. And while you're getting clarity about them, releasing the idea that you have any control over it at all. All you have is the power of knowing what actions you've been taking and shifting those actions to align with inspiration that you receive from the divine. What do I have to look forward to? How do I say that? Yeah, once this obstacle is removed. This is interesting. We're getting the Six of Pentacles. It's in reverse, but I think there's I have a good feeling about its reversal. But let's talk about it when it's upright. This is reciprocity, generosity, benevolence, sharing with others, and it's about receiving a return on your investment. If you can remove this obstacle of needing to see the money before you can believe in the money, you will achieve a state where you will be able to receive abundance from the universe. This is a card about not receiving abundance from yourself. When it's this way, it's like I have reciprocity within myself. When it's this way, it's my money is coming from the divine and I'm not resisting it anymore. I'm receiving the abundance and generosity of the universe and I am able to share and pour this out and actually make a difference in others' lives and not just in my own. And that's a big one. Being able to remove this block is gonna allow you to spend the pentacles that you receive and always have a sense that what goes out comes back in, what goes out comes back in, multiplied. So that seems pretty good. All right, let's pull some oracles here just to close this out. This little short financial reading, which is one of those things where I'm like, yeah, I already knew all that. Thanks, though. Just gotta do it, I guess. Love that for me. All right, I'm gonna get 3 messages here. Let's get 3 messages, please. Oh, wow. Well, I guess we're getting 4. Fine. I'll allow it. Oh, and then we're going to look at the bottom of the deck. Okay, so I'm using the spell casting oracle cards just to close get these closing messages for us. And we're getting happiness, courage, and clarity, or lack of clarity as it is. So we have to understand that we need to feel already content no matter where we are. Happiness has to come from within. I know that's such a cliche, but it's the universe telling you, not me. So blame the universe for saying cliches. But we have to feel this feeling of happiness come from our own transformation. Our motivation cannot be show me the money. That can't be our motivation. Show me the money. No. The motivation has to be show me the transformation. Show me the transformation inside of myself that allowed me to receive this abundance. And then we're getting strength, courage. This is controlling the ego, controlling the pride, of course, but it's about being brave and having courage. It's about me making the decision to put $375 every week or so into my career, which is what is at the bottom of the deck, my career. And clarity. This is, the universe is like, bitch, did I stutter? If you do not achieve clarity, because this is in reverse, if you do not achieve clarity in regards to this information, this data, exactly your every aspect of your finances, it's going to be tough for you. You need to have this courage. Your happiness is going to come from having enough courage to face these financial concerns that you have, to actually achieve clarity about them. And then friendship. This is the 4th card that popped out. This is the 3 of Cups. So this is celebration. And again, the fact that something that's very important to you is generosity and benevolence, being able to share in these wonderful shifts of transformation with those around us. It's also about collaboration, and it's about not being so serious. The truth is, I went to one of the most expensive music schools in the country. It costs as much as Harvard to go to that goddamn school. Maybe like $10,000 less a semester, but it's like 15 grand a semester when I went there. And I did not have that, so I borrowed it. And my ass went into incredibly huge sums of debt, a number which I will not even repeat today, because I no longer have to worry about it because of some strange and weird miraculous thing that happened. But regardless, a lot of my friends after college, they took that debt so seriously. They denied themselves the ability to even pursue the thing that they had gone to school for in order to deal with that debt. And I don't know if this is bravely or not. I don't know if it took courage or if it was just refusal to look and see clearly, or a denial or something. I didn't do that. I was like, you know what are they going to do to me? There's not debtor's prison anymore. And I'm sorry, I don't feel bad. My school shouldn't have cost $15,000 a semester. I went to music school, bitch. I didn't go to fucking med school. I didn't become an attorney. Why the hell would my music school cost that much? So that's an arbitrary sum. Also, when these sums of money changed from Discover Student Loan, who was charging me 12% interest, to my school, there was no money. You know what happened? There was a computer program, and they typed 100, comma 000.00, and then my school at Berkeley was like, oh cool, thanks for that, and the student loan company was like, no problem, bitch, I'm getting 12% back on this fake shit that didn't even happen. That's how I looked at it. I was like, that money doesn't even exist, which maybe is completely delusional. But my lack of seriousness about it allowed me to keep pushing myself to do the thing that I had gone to school for, while a lot of my other friends didn't. And now they're working those jobs that they took, or variations on the job, or new jobs, still struggling to pay off those loans. I will be able to make payments on my debt from the work that I do, which I believed in from the beginning. It's why I went to school. So I didn't take debt seriously. When they called me and tried to make me feel bad, I was like, y'all are fucked up. You gave 18-year-olds thousands and thousands of dollars because you knew that you would get to call and get 12% interest. Fuck you, click. You can't hurt me. Like, banks are shit. They're shit. The whole system is shit. So you have to not take it seriously. This is magic. You're playing a game. You're in a simulation, if you believe that. This is not really happening. So all of the fear and anxiety you have about debt or, financial instability or whatever it is, those are challenges that are meant to help you heal these wounds so that you can come into your happiness and contentment. And that's it. That's it. It's the tendency to be like, oh no, what am I gonna do? Like, if I can't pay for this in a couple of weeks. Well, first of all, if you're concerned about it for the next couple of weeks, what you're gonna do is when you get to that point, you probably won't be able to pay that thing without making a sacrifice in some way, or maybe you still won't be able to because all you thought about was what would happen if you couldn't, and so then you get there and you can't, and then you experience the tower moment, which reinforces the limiting beliefs that if you can't see it, it's not there. So how do you change your approach? Don't be so serious. Don't be so serious. You need to lighten up. If you're like, I don't know. Listen, in the next week, I have to make a final payment, make another payment on my next track. That's my job, by the way. The most expensive job you could ever possibly have is to be a musician. I have a $25,000 studio right here in my apartment that I have paid for over the years. And I still had to take my ass to a studio and spend $1,000 to record the instruments in an actual building. So it's just the gift that keeps on giving, right? Somehow I can make that payment next week. I can make the next payment, and I can get my son's plane tickets to come and stay with me for the summer, which is a huge deal. Then I have to have the finances in place to pay for him now, because I have an additional mouth to feed, and you bet your ass I do not get child support from his rigid, controlling, financially abusive father. So that's not going to happen. So I have to have more money for food. I'm sure my kid's going to want to do shit in Los Angeles when he gets here. Got to have money for that. I got to have money for furniture because I don't have furniture. It took me a long time to get the furniture that I have. So I don't have furniture for his ass. So I got to get furniture. If I talk to you about this right now, I can start to feel like, right? That feeling of panic, that terror that comes up is lack of trust and faith that it's going to work out. So if I can bring myself down, just be like, bitch. When my son first came to stay with me in Los Angeles when I had moved into this apartment after being homeless, I did not have a couch. There's a green blanket right now that is on top of my couch. That green blanket was on the floor with some pillows. And there was a DJ table that I used for shows, and a bench, a piano bench that I used for shows because I didn't even have this piano in my house yet. because the elevator was broken and I couldn't get this back from Andy Dick. That's where it was staying at the time. That's a weird story. Don't even know what that happened. Literally, my piano was at Andy Dick's house for a while. Weird. Anyway, he had a bench that I would use for shows, just a piano bench and a DJ table that he put his laptop on. Then I would drive for Lyft. I don't know. I usually would go get up early in the morning and drive for like 4 or 5 hours, come home in the afternoon, hang out with him, and then go at night and drive another 4 or 5 hours, like, so that theoretically he would be asleep when I got home, but he was like 12, so when I would get home he would still be awake. But and I felt awful about that. My apartment was empty, there was nothing in it, and he had to sit on like a little piano bench all day or lay on a crappy air mattress in this makeshift room I made for him, which honestly was kind of cool. I made him, like, I have a walk-in closet in this apartment, and I cleared it out, and I put a twin mattress in there, and I put a bunch of like lights around it, and there was like a shelf. It was like a cool little nook, but it was a bed in a closet with some Harry Potter shit, and I felt so badly about it. And he still talks about that summer as one of the best summers he ever had. We had a lot of fun. Even though I didn't have a lot of money, I would go and try to do as much free stuff as we could. You know, go to the beach. I had a car at least, driving for Lyft. I rented the car. I made the best of it. Now, when my son comes, and I just told you all the fears and worries and concerns I have about him coming, when he gets here, he will have a big red couch, a TV, connected to my studio monitors, which, let me tell you, my neighbors probably fucking hate me when I'm watching Lovecraft Country loud as fuck on my like freaking JBL monitors that have like huge bass response. He's got that. We're gonna have food. Any food he wants to eat, we're gonna be able to have that. He's gonna have an upgraded air mattress. Like this, that's probably gonna be true right now. But if you focus on what is missing, that's what you get. And when you focus on what you have and appreciate it, you know, that situation with my son, he appreciated it. He didn't care. He was glad to be with me. He was glad to be in Los Angeles. He was glad to be able to play video games all day because his dad is super controlling and never lets him do that kind of shit. He was glad to be able to see me when I got home, and he'd stayed up late and he'd tell me everything he'd seen on the street. He used to go and like watch shit in the window and he'd tell me all the crazy shit that was going on. He found ways to appreciate it because that's what kids do. Kids adapt. They get into an environment like that, and he does not have bad memories of that. When I was talking to him about it, I was like, hey, you get a couch now. Like, you can sit on a couch now when you're in here. And he was laughing. He was like, I didn't even care. I didn't care. Only you care. Only you feel inadequate. In the end, if you can just appreciate and lighten up, you're going to fare so much better. All right, let's just get some last advice. What could we do just right now, this very day today, that would help us remove this obstacle? I'm going to say, without shuffling the cards, you need to get clarity. There is a course in Lacey Phillips called Unblocked Money. It is brutal, let me tell you. I'm about to do it again. I did it last year, and it's time again to do it. And it makes you write down every single debt you have. It makes you like really take stock of everything, your hopes, your desires, getting to your code, your money code, because you want to, when you spend money, you want it to be in alignment with your highest ideals, which will help you to achieve more abundance, etc. So you're going to want to get clarity today. You're going to want to really look at it like, oh my God, maybe I should do my taxes today. What do you think, Ash? I think it's right here. I think we wrote it down in my schedule today. Oh, but Andrew's coming over because he had to reschedule for today. So, now I can't do my taxes today. Crying. Okay. Here's what you do need to do today. You got 4 cards, which usually I only take 3, but you got 4. This keeps happening. I tried to get 3 and we got 4. But you know what? It's interesting. I tried to get 3 cards for the Oracle messages. We got 4. I tried to get 3 cards and we got 4. What is that? 4-4. That's stability. That's that foundation of the throne. That's that Queen of Pentacles energy where there's that 4-4-4 stable energy. You're getting the 7 of Wands, the King of Swords, the Knight of Wands, and the Ace of Swords. So, today, You need to stand your ground against your fears and behaviors that keep you from achieving what it is you want. So for me, it looks like I need to do my taxes, right? Because my fears and anxieties about dealing with money, my lack of energy in regards to working with it, those are the behaviors I need to release, right? So you need to stand your ground against your own machinations that cause you to keep perpetuating this heartbreak in regards to finances, right? That's the first thing. How do you do it? King of Swords. Calm, cool, collected strategy. This is not Queen of Cups, honey. That's not even the King of Cups. Do you think the King of Swords is going to be crying when he looks at his finances? No. He's going to look at it with cold, hard intellect. He's going to be like, listen, this behavior, it doesn't make sense. Let's not do it that way. Let's come up with a strategy. What else does he offer? Clarity. He wields this Ace of Swords for clarity, but you need to wield the Ace of Swords not with the King of Swords, because the King of Swords is detached. You need to bring detachment to the aspect where you're standing your ground, taking a look at your finances. This is where the detachment must come from. You have to look at it just as you would, it's just information. You're just looking at information. You're looking at what you've done, and you're not being reactive to it. You're like, okay, I can see clearly what I've done. So that energy, the King of Swords, is going to help you with standing your ground and taking a good hard look at how you act in regards to money. But when you wield the sword, when you wield this clarity, you want to do it from your passion, right? This, of course, is a card, when it's in its shadow, it's about inconsistency. But what we're really looking at is we want this passion. There's something in you that sweeps you off your feet in terms of like what it is you desire to do in the world. And it would behoove you today to bring that passion to getting this clarity about your finances. I'm also seeing that there is this need to have a new understanding or new beliefs about the financial potential of your passions. There is an old belief that this Knight of Wands energy, that the field that you work in is inconsistent. And that's one of these limiting beliefs. For musicians, and I'm sure, I'm not sure, I am sure as a tarot reader, for musicians and tarot readers, healers, whatever, there's this consistent feeling of feast and famine. That's a limiting belief that comes from these trades where, you know, you get a big project or you get a big reading and then you have to wait 3 weeks for another one. And so it's like you can't see the pieces falling into place. So if you work today on releasing this limiting belief about the inconsistency of your trade, you will start to heal these wounds, which is the general energy right now. We're healing wounds about our worthiness and our deservingness and about managing finances. So as you start to do this, you're going to see new ways of achieving your desire. And can I show you what the bottom of the deck is if you put this work in today? Wealth, the Ace of Pentacles. That's the Ace of Swords and the Ace of Pentacles. And the strong message I'm getting right now is this might be your obstacle, but it is your truth. The pieces are coming into place. This fortune that you don't know how to manage, the whole reason that the current pause is you're kind of resisting this fate, you don't have clarity. This fortune is here. And the only reason you're experiencing this energy right now in this Mercury in retrograde is, first of all, to heal any of those wounds that were still hiding in there, that were kind of hidden by some of that other energy we had that was kind of pushing us along, making us feel like everything was hunky-dory. Everything is hunky-dory. It is. these pieces are falling into place. And the only reason you feel the way you feel right now is retrograde. You are supposed to remember what it felt like so that you can understand that this is magic, that everything is magic, not just the things that you believe in now, but all things are magic. I hope that helped. From what I can remember from this, if my ego can remember, it seems to be very on point. And I don't want to look at my finances today. God damn it. But I'm going to have to. So I will see you tomorrow morning. We're going to do, from the last reading we did on Wednesday, we're going to revisit the 2 aspects of self, and we're going to look at obstacles released for the feminine side and obstacles rebuilding from obstacles on the masculine side. So we're going to do an Empress and an Emperor spread, and that's actually going to be really amazing because that energy is really going to help us solidify that foundation that we need to feel, that stability that we need to feel in those finances. So we had, if you didn't have a chance to watch yesterday's reading, that does have the like the general obstacles we have and what we can do to release it. Today we have more of a sense of what's going on financially, and then tomorrow that spread should address both aspects because these obstacles are bound up together. And so hopefully tomorrow I can really help you release this energy and rebuild it. So thanks so much for joining me. I shall see you tomorrow morning here on Tuned In Tarot. Take care. Bye.